Hi, my name is Megan. I'm from Line Around Sewing, and if you haven't been to my channel before, I usually do sewing tutorials, artist alley tips, things like that. But today, I'm getting married on a Disney cruise in 2 months, and I wanted to share with you guys how I planned that, and then in the future, how it went. So like I said, my name is Megan. This is a picture of me and my husband now, actually. We just got married 2 days ago, but not on the Disney cruise yet, and I'll tell you why. We actually got married a couple of days ago at the courthouse because we're getting married in the Bahamas on our cruise, and so technically it's not legal for our wedding in the United States. So we went ahead and did 2 months ahead of time because my July is crazy booked, and then September is when we're getting married. So July 12th is our legal anniversary, and then we are getting married on September 23rd on the Disney Wish. Let's go to your phone or your computer and see where I started when I went to start planning my Disney Cruise Line wedding. DisneyWeddings.com/cruise and another slash at the end. And that's going to bring you right to our wedding venues that are on the cruise ship. If you don't want to get married on a cruise ship, just go up here to weddings and you can see all the locations that Disney has for weddings. It's going to bring you right to the venues. You can see there's the atriums. You can get married at Castaway Cay, and they have the little indoor areas. Lots to choose from. So let's first start with pricing, because I feel like that's a good start. If you have a budget, if somebody gave you a budget, pricing is a good place to begin, because each venue has a different price, and if you have a certain amount of people that are coming, that's going to be a different price too. So this is where you can go, and when you're ready to message someone, when you have an idea in mind, you can go to this contact us. They have it a lot all over the page, and you're just going to go and click on that, and we'll do that last. But right now, let's get an idea of what we're looking at. So wedding options starts at $4,000, which is not bad, and I would have stayed in this budget, but it only allows a certain amount of people. So let's look, because I honestly was looking at this Outlook, but let's start with the deck. This is on the cruise ship at the aft of the boat, and of course this view will be different where you dock. If you're doing a 3-day, which we're doing a 3-day, they do the marriages on the Saturday, or I should say the second day where they dock. For us, it just happens to be a Saturday. So say I do with the ocean view, and you can see over here on the right on all these, it's going to tell you what it can accommodate up to. It can accommodate up to 18 guests in addition to the couple. And then it also tells you which boats you can do this on. So the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder. So for this one, if you stay under 18 guests, it will be in the $4,000 range. This does not include your room and any extra stuff that you want. But if you do one of like a short weekend one on the not newish ship, you can probably get it for around $5,000 or $6,000 if you're not paying for all your guests. If you're paying for all your guests, of course this price is going to be more expensive, but that's something that you'll just have to think ahead of time. What Joey and I did is tell our guests, we would love to have you if you want to join us on this magical day, but unfortunately we can't pay for everyone's way. So this is going to be a fun vacation wedding, and if you want to come, we would love to have you. If not, no worries, we're going to do a little something back at home. So you can see on here the base price, which is the $4,000, includes 16 guests, because 18 would be you and your partner, and adding more is $20 per additional guest. And this is going to be the same with any venue that you do. So you want to start as soon as you can to go ahead and book your venue, because especially on the 3-day cruises, only one person or one couple can get married at this specific location per cruise. So if you got a 3-day trip and you're getting married in the aft of the boat, they only have one day that they do all the weddings, and so you would be the couple that got married on that cruise. It looks like I actually started planning a whole year ahead. I didn't know I was that on my game. But honestly, whenever you get the idea that you want to do this, check and see if they have dates available for that cruise for that month that you want to do on that ship. And you might as well go ahead and book your wedding. That way you can reserve that spot. Just want you to put the amount down for your room and your wedding. So you don't have to do anybody else's yet, and you don't have to pay it all off yet. And this goes for your guests too. You don't have to pay all your cruise until 90 days before your cruise leaves. So that's when you're going to do all your final payments and you're locked in. Let's see a couple of the other venues. And you can also narrow it down if you want, if you know that you want the Wish or a specific other boat. So let's look in the upgraded ones. So starting at 5,000, this is where I'm getting married. We are getting married in the atrium of the Disney Wish. So let's check out the atrium. And what I loved was this. They got me with this beautiful staircase and the beautiful blue steps. Just lovely. And you can get married on any of the cruise lines, and this accommodates up to 40 guests, which is also what got me to, because I didn't know exactly how many I was gonna have, but 18 seemed kind of close. And it actually was. I believe we ended up having, let me get the final count. We ended up having, or we're going to have 22 on our wedding cruise. And it was actually going to be 24, but both of my sisters are with child. And a good thing to note is if anybody's looking at getting pregnant before your wedding, of course, sometimes it's out of their control, and you just, when it happens, it happens. But they can't go. If they will enter their 24th week of pregnancy while they're on the cruise, they're not allowed to go. So unfortunately, my two sisters won't be there, but it's going to be amazing either way. But something to keep in mind if you're going to someone's Disney wedding, cruise line, specifically for a cruise line, because you're going usually out of the country and you're going to be at sea, you know, just common sense. The staircase, and you get to walk down this staircase. I'm so excited. So here's a couple of the other boats. I've actually never been on a Disney cruise before, so I can't tell you what other boats these are, but they still look beautiful. And from what I can tell, they all have the little statues of some kind in there. I'm going to talk mostly about my wedding that's going to be on the Disney Wish in the atrium, because this is what I know best. But I assume most of the other weddings will follow some kind of same timeline. But first, let's talk about what's in your wedding package, no matter where you get married on the cruise ship. You found out where you want to have your wedding. You know the location you want to have it. You have a general idea of how many, you know, if you want to do the bigger accommodation or the smaller accommodation. You can go ahead and go to Contact Us. And this is just where you're going to fill out your name, if you're going to be the bride or the groom, and then your partner's information, your contact name, who you are that's contacting them, like you're the bride, or if your mom's gonna do it for you, wedding planner's gonna do it for you, and information, and then if you prefer to be contacted by phone or email, and then what you have a question about, or you're ready to start planning. And then it'll ask you if you're doing wedding, engagement, valid, renewal, and any specific questions that you might have right now. So I believe I did email contact at first, and within a couple of days, they got back to me, and I believe I talked to somebody else first when I started planning. They just kind of said, when's a good time I can set up a phone call for you, and talk to her. We just went over the basics of about how many people, what dates were we looking at, what area were we looking at getting married. So I just told her that I wanted the atrium for sure, and that we're looking at September specifically because that's usually the cheaper time to cruise. I wanted to be able to accommodate more people that could come. I wanted to make it more budget friendly so that more people could come. And we knew we wanted to do a 3-day, like a weekend trip, so people didn't have to take off from work as much. I also went in there before I contacted her and looked up for myself which cruises were available in September on the Disney Wish. And she then was able to go and look and see if there was any taken yet. And I believe I wanted the very 1st of September before, but some of them was taken. And then I found out that they also start Halloween at Seas September. And I was like, perfect, set it, that's it. We get Halloween on a cruise ship, married on a cruise ship, and there's gonna be Halloween decorations everywhere and free candy. Yeah, that's the one I want. So we picked that date. She checked to see if anyone had booked the atrium yet for that one, and there hadn't been. So that was for me. And I just had to make sure that I paid part of my, she helped me book it and everything, paid part of my reservation, put it on reserve, and pay a little bit on it so they knew that I was serious about it. After you pick your date and things like that, and they talk to you on the phone or through email, they will email you this packet. You're going to get information on like a guide for planning, enhancements, so things that you can like add on, and the worksheet to fill out. And it'll be called like the planning guide or something like that, and there'll be attachments at the bottom in PDF form that you can download. So let's start with the planning guide first. This is going to look at what's included and what's not included and just where to start. And what's included is you'll get a wedding service team, there's a coordinator that will help you, and then on embarkment day you'll review the plans of your wedding. So you get the location, chairs, microphone, officiant is included unless you want to bring your own. You can get fresh florals, there will be a pianist for you, and you'll get a Disney Cruise Line wedding certificate, which I think is so cool. You will also get 2-tier wedding cake, and I believe since we had more people, they told us that we got to pick 2 cakes. So if I wanted a different flavor, which we did a lemon cake and like a peanut butter chocolate cake. So we got 2 cakes because Joey's not a big chocolate person, but I love chocolate and peanut butter. So I think because we're paying extra for the extra guest, we got an extra cake. You get to keep a wedding cake knife and server set, 1 bottle of champagne and cider for the wedding toast. So the cider is going to be for the kids, and this is going to be more than 1 bottle if you have more guests, of course. That's what that $20 extra is going to pay for. Musician for the champagne cake celebration, and then some floral arrangement and stuff for your cake table where you're going to cut the cake. You get priority boarding. They will steam your stuff for you. This, I believe, is only for the couple. I believe you have to pay for more if you need your wedding party steamed. You also get $100 in onboard credit, and you can use it to charge merchandise, spa, other activities. We're probably going to use it on a spa if we have time. And then you get dinner at Paolo's. It's included at the fancy Italian restaurant that you only get to eat at if you pay for it. Because on the cruise, the other places are included to eat, but Paolo's is more expensive, very fancy, and we get to eat there one of the nights on the ship. We decided to do our wedding night to eat there. So then we're going into the floral. These are the ones that are included, and you have different combinations that you can do. You can do 2 bouquets, 2 boutonnieres, or 1 boutonniere and 1 bouquet, which is what we did. And I went to this beautiful garden. I love the purples, and since they don't have any type of blue, and I'm going more pastel themed, I felt like this garden color was the best. But also all these whites are cute, and then you can also see this is what the bouquet and this is what the garden will look like. So here's the music selection. You can choose from this list. This is what the pianist will play. If you want music that's not on here, then you have to provide your own music. Or my wedding planner told me if you can provide the sheet music, then they can play it as well. So if you wanted a more modern song, you can get it in sheet music, they can play it for you. But I went ahead and just downloaded a few songs on my phone to have with me, and we're gonna do it that way. And we did do some of the Disney song list though, because I do want a little bit of piano music. Now moving on to cake. You get a classic 2-tier cake, and they have the different flavors to start, and then they have the fillings, the ganache to kind of go on top, and then the buttercream topping. So here's where it talks about being less than a pound, no larger than 6 inches in diameter, and it can't be inserted in the cake. The amount of champagne and cider for the children's, it'll only be enough for 1 toast. And then if you want more, you have to notify them ahead of time. But we know Disney, you don't go on a Disney cruise to drink, it's expensive. And this is where it'll say if you have more than 18 guests, that's where that extra fee will be used towards more cake and more champagne. Here's where it talks about Paolo's. It can take 2 an hour to 90 minutes because it is a 10-course meal, I believe. And you, of course, can have your whole family go eat at Paolo's if you want to do that. They can book the whole wedding party. We didn't do that. That's all for the guide. In your email, you'll also get one about enhancements that you can add. So this is where that price is going to go up. If you're starting at the 4,000 level, it's going to go up if you add on these things. But they do have some really cool things. We didn't really do any of it. Just make sure you do it 45 to 60 days prior to leaving, and of course, paid in full 30 days. This is where you're going to do your photography, your hair, spa, if you want to get any little gifts. So we start first with the welcome gifts for yourself or for the people coming on the cruise with you. They have edible wedding favors, chocolate Mickeys, little small cakes, and Rice Krispie treats. And this will tell you how much it is, and this is per person. Some of these are minimum 1 dozen to order. So if you just wanted something for your bridesmaids and your grooms, then you can do this. I do see this is only for voyage departing from Florida. I assume if you're out of the country, they probably can't do this, or maybe they can't get these kinds of things. So only Florida cruises leaving, you can have them have that in their room when they get there. So if you want them to do your hair and makeup, this is where you can choose to do that. I'm having my friends and some of my family do my hair and makeup for me. So 4 appointments can be pre-reserved. If you would like more than 2 appointments, please note that you should schedule together, and who goes first, schedule 2 people at the same time. They'll do the bride first, of course. They're not, of course, not included in your wedding package, and then it'll be billed to your room. Cancel 3 days before selling, and then the exact cost based on appointment and length of hair. So then they also have spa that you're going to reserve beforehand. So if you want floral enhancements, you can get little things to go inside your flowers. You can also get an upgraded bouquet. These are beautiful. And then even more upgraded. These are 50% larger than the ones that they provide. So if you want a big bundle of flowers. So other floral enhancements you can do are like magnets. You can get more boutonnieres. You can get more bouquets. You can do like cute little rose wands. Lots of different things that you can look into. You can also get this lovely wedding arch. It doesn't say anything if you can only do it outside, but it does look beautiful outside. And then they have cake enhancements. So of course, if you want a bigger cake, if you want more stuff on your cake, looks like cake upgrades start at $150 and goes up from there. You can also get premium flavors like red velvet, orange almond, and chocolate fudge, more premium cake fillings, more buttercream. Ooh, they have cookies and cream. Yum. And then of course it wouldn't be Disney if you couldn't add on your character appearances. They will come for 30 minutes, up to 30 minutes, and you can get one for $1,440, or you can get 2 for $2,070, and you can pick from these. So it looks like the Fab Five, Chip and Dale, and Stitch, which is a good idea that they have Stitch, because that sounds fun. And you can add on photography. Keep in mind too, if you are bringing your own photographer, you of course have to include them in your wedding party, and you have to pay for their room, unless it's a family member that's doing your photography, and then that's awesome. Save that money. And then it looks like you can add a jump drive of all the images. Wedding announcements, an additional hour. So for our photos, we are having just our family and friends take some photos. A couple of us have like more of a professional camera, and honestly the iPhones take really good photos, especially outside. And we're gonna be on a cruise ship. So I think if we have time before the wedding is when I'll get pictures of me and Joey, and hopefully we'll do like a first look, and we'll get all those out of the way. That way once the wedding is over, everyone can be free to go take off their fancy clothes and relax for the rest of the cruise. Worksheet that has more questions. This you do not have to turn in until 60 days, no later than 60 days. I believe I did 4 months, and they still were like, wow, thanks so much for getting back to us so soon. I'm glad that you're prepared. And I'm like, that's 4 months away. I'm sure that they have other ones that they're talking to, so 4 months ahead is still plenty of time, but no later than 2 months, 60 days. You're just gonna fill this out with your partner, or if they don't want to make any decisions, then you're gonna fill it out yourself. And it's just gonna ask you your name, partner's name, your sailing information, and your reservation. So if you don't have all this stuff yet, then of course you won't fill it out until you're more set. Or for your guest list, you might not have everyone's reservation numbers. I filled this out as I went. I saved it to my computer on my desktop, and then every time I got a reservation number, I just would go and type it in. And then if you're doing a wedding party, this is where you would fill it out. We didn't do a wedding party. Escort, and if you're bringing your own officiant, you would put this here. If you're looking at the floral, this is where you would pick one boutonniere, one bouquet, and then you pick what theme. So we liked the garden. But here you can pick color. So they do have, if you didn't like that purple, they do have other colors. I still went with the lavender. Back over here to cake. You can pick your style. So we started out, you do classic style. These are upgrades if you want it to look fancy. And then we did a vanilla. I think we did marble at first, but because she told us we got 2 cakes, we changed it to vanilla. And we did actually the lemon cream cheese mousse. We were doing the citrus lemon buttercream, but my wedding planner told me that the lemon cream cheese, if we're doing one of the lemons, lemon cream cheese one is better. And I will let you guys know after which cake we like better. But that's what we did. And then when she told us we got a second cake, we did chocolate with the peanut butter buttercream. Yummy, I'm so excited. And then they have the option of if you will be providing your own cake topper. And we didn't know what we were doing yet, but they do tell you that it can't puncture the cake, so it can't leave a, stabby mark in the cake. It has to sit on top, and it can't be more than 1 pound altogether. And here's a picture of what we're doing. We're doing Bowser and Peach from the Mario Odysseys, and we just got the little amiibos to go on top. Music selection part. And you go in here and you can click if you want it to be the prelude, and then you type in here, say you want Kiss the Girl, and if you want it to be from the piano, or if you're going to bring your own music. And you can fill that all out here. Now, Joey and I did a whole lot of prelude music because we're not having like parent processional, we're not having a wedding party. So we did like 4, and then we did bride and groom entrance. And then it gets into like when we are walking out, we did a song, and cake cutting, we had a specific song. First dance, we did a song, but we're not doing any of these except for we're doing a mother-daughter. So we did a couple, I think, for cake cutting as well to just fill up this whole thing. And I did ask to double check, like, what if we run out of songs? Will they still play music? And the wedding planner said, yeah, he'll just play more music. On your worksheet, you can add all those floral enhancements. You can add all of the gifts, the wedding favors, if you're doing hair and makeup, if you want a character, add your photography. There's also a section for special requests and any additions you want to add. And you will fill this out and attach it to your email and send it to your wedding planner. Once you send that, they'll get back to you, and sometime in the future they will want to go over all this. I believe I waited several months. Mostly I waited on, but I kept in contact with them, but I waited on to see who all was actually going to come. And then when I had more idea of how many people we were going to have, that's when I reached back out, and me and my wedding planner went over all this information. When we got to like that 90-day mark where we paid the cruise off and everything, that's around the time that we did another phone call, and she went over the plan and times and everything that it's looking at for a cruise, and that's what we'll go over now. The last time I talked to my wedding planner, we talked about times and got more of the specific details. We linked my whole party reservations together, so everyone in my party is linked. I believe I said like there's 22 of us, including Joey and I. We talked about, so I'm in the atrium, I'm gonna walk down the stairs. They were like, do you want to stand at the bottom of the stairs, or do you want to go across and walk down the aisle and stand on the little stage? And I was like, I want to stand on the stage. I don't want to stand by the Cinderella statue at the bottom of the stairs, even though it's very pretty. Those stairs, beautiful. And we talked about who's gonna walk me down the stairs and what I'm gonna do, because I wanted my mom to walk me down the aisle. She's gonna walk me down the stairs, and then my stepdad's gonna meet us at the bottom and walk us the rest of the way. Of course, with the dining reservation, we do rotational dining, so we're all gonna go to the same place to eat out of the 3 places every night. For the Wish, it's Frozen, Avengers, and then 1923. And because we were eating at Paolo's one night, we have to eliminate one of those. And we're kind of stuck between the Avengers and 1923, because we hear 1923 food is really good, but the Avengers has, the entertainment, the spectacle, the fun theater of it. So we're still trying to decide which one we want to get rid of for Paolo's, and then of course our family will eat at all three, unless any of your family wants to kind of come to Paolo's, but that is an extra charge. You can decide what night you want to eat Paolo's. Again, we're doing the night of our wedding, so we will be eating separately from our family that night, but all the other nights we will be eating with them. Also talked about what is the plan for that day. So we're doing a 3-day. We board on Friday morning, and then we will head towards the Bahamas, and then when we port in the Bahamas Saturday morning, that is when we'll get married. So everyone will get off the boat, or everyone that wants to, that's not in the wedding party, will get off the boat, and then they will close off the atrium for our wedding, because that's the main place that people are going to be coming in and out of. So they will close it off, and we will have our ceremony. It starts at 12:30, or at least that's what they told us everyone had to be ready and dressed by. They also told me, which I didn't know and I didn't see anything online, but they'll send like little invitations to my family and friends about like what time to be there and where it's going to be, and I thought that was just so cute, and I'm really excited to see those. So 12:30, be ready and dressed. 1 o'clock, the ceremony will start. I will walk down the stairs, I will meet Joey over on the stage, and we'll say all the stuff. It's very short, they said like 10 minutes. Then we will leave, and at that time we can get pictures if we want before we head over to the ceremony afterwards, like drinks and cake. At that time we can take pictures on the stairs, we can get a big family group photo, and we can also get the different families and friends photos that we want there on the stairs before they open it back up to everybody else. When we're done with that, we go to the Bayou, is what it's called, on the Disney Wish, and that's where we'll have that introduce us as the new couple, and it'll just be our family and friends. We will do cake cutting, we'll do champagne and a toast. If anyone wants to make a toast, this is when they can make the toast. We then will do like first dance and any other dances we want to do, and then everyone else can dance. And I think they say we stay in here for about an hour, and then we're pretty much all done for us at like 3 o'clock or like 2:30. So what they did tell us about getting off the Bahamas at Nassau, you can get off before we start the ceremony, so before 12 o'clock basically in the morning, or you might have a little bit time afterwards to get off, but you have to get back on. I think we leave at like 5 to head to Castaway Cay. So usually if you're doing this and some of your family wants to get off at this time, like while we're docked there, they should probably do it before the ceremony. But I understand also if you're doing hair, makeup, the people that need to get all that done might not be able to get off at all that day. But that's fine with us. We were not really here to get off at Nassau. We are here to be on the cruise ship and go to Castaway Cay and get married. The last few tips that I have for you: get in touch with your wedding planner 60 days prior, and then I'm gonna check back again with mine 30 days before, and just make sure if there's any more cancellations that we had or any added guests, that I keep in touch with her about that. If I need to change any of our cakes or add anything, I'm gonna do that probably 30 days before still. I need to let her know what restaurant we're missing instead for Paolo's. Make sure that you have a passport or some kind of government issued ID, like a real ID. Passports are usually the safest option to make sure that you have everything you need in one thing. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure you have to bring like a birth certificate or a social security card, something like that. If you're not getting off at the Bahamas, you don't really need, or I guess anywhere internationally, you don't really need a passport. but they won't let you off the boat. And if there's some type of emergency and you have to get off internationally, you're gonna have a problem getting back into the United States. So I recommend getting a passport just so you have it. And like us, we got married before the cruise, and I'm not changing my name until we get back from the cruise, because if I do that, I have to change my license, I have to change my passport. All of that would be a lot to do before the cruise. So I went ahead, we got married, but I'm gonna change all that once we're done with the cruise and all the international travel. So if you're also gonna do some type of honeymoon internationally, wait to change your name so that you don't have to update all your information at one time. Wait until after all your traveling's done. We are also bringing little magnets to go on the doors, because it's a very popular thing to do on Disney Cruise Lines, is to put magnets on the doors, and we're doing a cute little theme one that my friend Bethany actually made that is like a Mickey Mouse shape, and it says Younce Upon a Time, which is our hashtag, and it'll have our names in like part of the wedding party, and we are going to put that on all of our guest doors. That'll be like a little party favor that they get to take with them too, and a cute little gift to give, and everyone gets matching doors, and when we walk by, we'll know, hey, they're part of the wedding party. Joey's aunt also made some cute little anchors and other door magnets for us. I'll show you guys what those look like. And these are going to be really cute to put on our door as well. I'm really excited to see all the decorations for the doors. Other than that, if you want to bring your own gift and you want it to be in their room before everyone else gets on, like you're going to do little party favors, Disney can do that for you, but you do have to pay extra. I want to say it starts at like $2 per room. It might be more than that. But if you want to bring something from home, you can do that too. Just keep in mind that you have to check your luggage at the airport, and also when you're getting on the boat, you have to check all that too. So make sure you're allowed to bring it on the boat, and make sure it doesn't go over your 50-pound limit if you're flying. So overall, it was pretty simple, and this was over a year spanned, and it honestly probably didn't need to be. I just wanted to be prepared, but I feel like you could do this like 5 or so months ahead of your cruise and still be fine, as long as you have the place that you want to get married at booked. That's the only thing I would worry about, especially if you want to get married on a cruise ship around any major holidays, even like Halloween, anything like that. I would plan that ahead of time just to make sure you get the spot that you want. I probably could have just talked to the wedding planner and picked that date and not talked to them again until like 3 months before our cruise. So they make it really simple, and they're very helpful. You can email them anytime you want. And I highly recommend, I haven't done it, so I'll let you guys know in another video when we actually do get married, but for like money saving, I think it's a great way where it's kind of a fancy big wedding, but also not a whole lot of money, because if you have your guests pay for their way, you or whoever's paying for your wedding just has to do the ceremony part of it, and then those rooms for yourself and for them. If you have any questions, again, leave them below in the comments. If I missed anything, let me know. I can do another video, but I also will have a video for you after the wedding to just let you know how it went, and if I still recommend it, and if I had a great time. Thank you so much for watching, and happy wedding planning. Happy Disney wedding planning. Bye-bye!